Joe Jenkins in chat says, back in the Davis sweepstakes would be quite a gamble. Back in those sweepstakes we are. And even from just a couple of days ago, we've had a new update that really strengthens not only the Raptors, but really any team's chances of acquiring Anthony Davis in a trade. Let's dig into it. So the update comes from Shams Charania of ESPN. You know who that is. He provided the update here. Anthony Davis will not require surgery on his hand after a second opinion with specialist, Dr. Steven Shin, whatever. And he will be reevaluated in 6 weeks, league sources tell ESPN. So big news for the Anthony Davis trade front, because there was worry after, I think there was a ligament issue in his hand, I think specifically his thumb, that it could require surgery and that would require him to miss months of NBA action. But because of this development, 6 weeks, that might be something an NBA team is much more willing to wait out. It could get Anthony Davis back mid to late February or early March. And if you are a team that is vying for the playoffs and pushing for the playoffs, this could give you a rejuvenated Anthony Davis back for those playoffs and the late push in the regular season. When Anthony Davis had this update come out about him and the injury, his probability to get traded really plummeted. Like I think he was trending, and we'll pull it up here. I think he was trending into like the 40s, maybe even higher, and then it just plummeted down to like a 12% chance of getting traded. So yeah, he's even higher actually. For a brief moment, and we're looking on Couch here, prediction market to see. He was actually up to like mid 70s for percentage chance of getting traded just like a week ago. Then with this new development, he plummeted down to low 10s, like teens, 10 to 20% chance. Now that we know he doesn't require surgery, we got up to like around 40. Now we're down to 22. We're in like the 20% range. So we've gone up a little bit on his chances of getting traded because it's much more likely that a team is willing to wait it out and bring him in. So we talked about this in the previous live stream that we did, because I said that even with like the surgery, even if he does need surgery, that could provide the Raptors with an opportunity to get him at such a cut price deal, wait until the end of the season, get him back for next season. Well, now it becomes a case of you might still be able to get him on a pretty cut price deal, but you also get him back this season. The Raptors are 4th in the East right now. Hopefully they make the playoffs. They should from here. And if they do make the playoffs, they'll have Anthony Davis back, in theory, for those playoffs. So I don't want to get into, the possibility of the trade happening necessarily, because we talked about that a lot in the last stream. What I do want to discuss is what the trade would have to look like. Now that we have a little bit more information in regards to the Raptors actually are interested. Like we're getting lots of reports the Raptors are genuinely interested in making this trade. Now that we have a lot more information in regards to this, I want to just revisit what it would actually take to make this trade happen, just to see, is this something that we would actually consider doing? So we'll pull up the trade machine here. We'll get the Raptors and the Dallas Mavericks involved. Anthony Davis getting sent to the Raptors. Now, this isn't like a Ja Morant situation where it's $39 million. This is $54 million the Raptors to stack up to. I'll continue to say it makes absolutely no sense to trade for Anthony Davis unless you're trading Jakob Poeltl as well. The trade has got to be built around Jakob Poeltl for me. I've seen reports that they might build it around Emmanuel Quickly and Barrett. But again, I don't really want to pair Anthony Davis with Jakob Poeltl, to be honest. So I'll put Jakob Poeltl in. If the Raptors are doing this, unfortunately, I really feel like they're going to do it with RJ Barrett. Maybe quickly, maybe we can pull off a Ja Morant trade with Emmanuel Quickly and an Anthony Davis trade with RJ Barrett and get this one done. We'll try a couple versions here. I really do want to build it around Poeltl. So we'll try a version here with Poeltl and Barrett, but we'll also, for the sake of it, look at what it looks like with Poeltl and Quickly. So just off the rip here, We've got ourselves up to 48 million, so we're still not even quite there yet. But we'll throw in like Ochai Agbaji, and I think that should pretty much do it. Dallas Mavericks. So we need to remove 2 million from incoming value. Okay, that's probably doable with one of the cheaper contracts. Honestly, like strengthening a bit of guard depth wouldn't even be the worst thing in the world for the Raptors to do. Maybe just add like a depth in the center position, bring him home. Dwight Powell, and okay, so that's something that works out. So Anthony Davis, a cheap contract. Let's say Dwight Powell for the sake of it. I don't think he'll provide like anything for the Raptors, but let's just try it. Dwight Powell. This is a trade that probably like a solid framework for the Dallas Mavericks to work around. I don't know what sort of value they can expect to get back from Anthony Davis, but maybe like a Luka Doncic in another universe, but. Obviously, there needs to be picks here. The Jakob Poeltl contract is not desirable. It's been proven for a while that the RJ Barrett contract is not desirable around the NBA. That's not opinion, that's fact. Okay? Don't come for me. Teams don't want the RJ Barrett contract. Anyways, picks need to be involved here. I'm reluctant to give two. I'm really reluctant to give two. I would be somewhat happy if you could go for Anthony Davis. You get off the Poeltl contract. Somewhat reluctant to trade Barrett, but it just might have to come to that. And you only give away one first. I could be enticed by that. And I know that there are issues with Anthony Davis's availability. Everyone knows about the availability issue with Anthony Davis. There's also some availability issues with Jakob Poeltl. It's not like he's always available. And right now, Jakob Poeltl has 5 years left on his contract. He's owed a lot of money in the future. And there's a possibility he's just completely cooked because of his back right now. He hasn't been healthy at all this season. We're halfway through the season. He hasn't been healthy at all. There is a genuine worry here. There's a genuine worry here. Okay? For Poeltl. You could even argue teams are doing you a favor by taking the Jakob Poeltl contract right now. So there needs to be some sort of value going back the other way. I don't think Dallas need to rush this trade. So I don't think Dallas take this. I'm pretty enticed by this and the idea of getting Anthony Davis for one first-round pick. I think if you did two, it would get done here. But I am a bit hesitant to go for two. So for the sake of just seeing, let's try and do this trade with Immanuel Quickley instead. Go for Immanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl. So we have to probably cut some money somewhere. So we need to add a bit of money coming from the Dallas side. So maybe we take out Dwight Powell, somebody a bit more expensive who they just might want to get off of. D'Angelo Russell, probably we're still not quite there. We need to cut fucking $300,000. So we could add, I don't know, minimum deal. Like, would they part with Dante Exum, for example? And hey, we're trading a point guard. Might be good to get one back, a couple back even. That would be successful. So, just basically Anthony Davis, filler for Immanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl, Ochai Agbaji, and a first. This is also something that I could possibly get behind. I'm a little bit more reluctant because, like, as much as I worry about our point guard depth when you do this, I'm not sold on Jamal Shed being your starter. I think you can move Immanuel Quickley for Ja Morant, which is something that interests me as well. As bad as Quickley has been this season, it just alarms me to lose that floor spacing threat, that type of player. So, but then again, you're also getting off of this Immanuel Quickley contract, which is doing you a favor here, and you're getting Anthony Davis, and you're only paying a first, and you're getting Anthony Davis and getting off two bad contracts here. I recognize the concern with Anthony Davis. This is a trade I like less than like what the Raptors could possibly do to get Ja Morant, but if you can get off of a bad contract, you can bring in a player as talented as Anthony Davis. You can pray your medical staff, your trainers who have done a very good job with other players in the past. You can pray they do good work with him. I think that might be worth doing. I would that one I'm a little bit more scared of, but that might be something I would do as well. Anthony Davis coming into the team. We'll see what Bobby Webster's playing at and how aggressive he wants to be with moves like this. But I can already tell from the chat, and you can let me know as well. I can already tell that people are not going to be interested in Anthony Davis.